America. I am Erick Erickson, coming to you from the radio studio at WOKV in Jacksonville, Florida, where I am for an event tonight and for tomorrow. So streaming on my webcam today. Hopefully the audio and the video are good enough for you. I'll be back to the studio on Friday. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon before you get home from work. It is December 10th. Up first, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates again, this time another quarter point. There are 3 dissents this time publicly. 2 did not want any rate cuts, fearing that inflation is starting to get unmanageable again. The third was Donald Trump's recent appointee to the Federal Reserve. He wanted a full half-point interest rate cut. What's notable is that by voting no, he's actually siding with the people concerned with inflation, as opposed to accommodating the quarter-point cut with stating a dissent or concurrence, saying he wanted it more. He didn't do that. The Federal Reserve doesn't really operate that way. But Donald Trump's own appointee refused to a quarter-point interest rate cut. So that leaves us with a quarter-point interest rate cut. It is economically stimulative, allegedly, but tariffs still remain a problem. The Federal Reserve also signaling that they're probably not going to do any more rate cuts now. That's leaving investors with a mixed reaction. We'll see what the labor market does and what inflation does with later reports. Remember as well, the federal government said it's going to cancel its inflation report for October, so the Fed was flying blind on this. Up next, there's a massive debt-fueled deal happening on Wall Street, one of many. Debt is back on Wall Street, and that's signaling concerns when you have the AI bubble, and it is a bubble for better or worse right now, a lot of it being fueled by debt and circular deals. Then you have deals like the Time Warner deal with either Netflix or Paramount being fueled with debt. That's sending signals to people that, well, the good times may be coming to an end. If the bubble bursts, which it's bound to burst, it may actually be good bursting, and that the AI technology is going to be here. We'll have a clearer sense of what real values are. But also a lot of people putting in a lot of debt and releasing a lot of bonds could leave a lot of companies hurting, and consequently you through your 401k. Warning signs and federal regulators suggesting that maybe we've gone too far in overcorrecting for the massive regulations from the 2009 financial picture. Up next, the Senate Republicans have advanced 97 Trump nominations. They steamrolled through a lot of Democratic objections, giving the president his biggest block of nominees to come through the Senate in quite some time, making sure that, well, his administration and judicial picks can be filled. A number of them were judicial picks. A lot of them were deputy undersecretaries and underlings within the executive branch. But the Senate still firing all cylinders to make sure this happens. Lastly, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is blasting a number of blue states. You may not realize this, but in a number of blue states, they have decided to block implementation of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So in some states, Colorado and Illinois are good examples. The no tax on tips, your tips are still going to be taxed. The no tax on overtime, still going to be taxed. The no tax on Social Security, still going to be taxed. Those states are refusing to comply with optional rules that were baked into the plan. They want to do this, let's be honest, because they think that if they keep the economy bad and people hurting and people not seeing the benefits of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, they're going to blame Congress and the Republicans, not actually blame the blue states. It's smart politics for them, let's be honest, because people will blame Washington. They won't blame their states. They're not going to understand the nuances of it. The president offered this stuff. They're not feeling the effects. Republicans are going to have to do better messaging. Scott Bessent is beginning that messaging today, blasting these Democrats for refusing to make the changes legislatively at the state level for employees in those states and people in those states to feel the effects of the Trump tax cuts. It's going to be a campaign issue for the president as well, as he goes into those states to prop up Republicans in swing seats and makes the case that state-level Democrats are sabotaging the economic gains. Problem for the GOP, of course, is they're going to have to deal with the tariffs. Those are the 4 issues you need to know about before you get home this afternoon. I'm Erick Erickson from Jacksonville, Florida. Be back here tomorrow and then home on Friday. Y'all have a great rest of the day.